Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. We have some exciting announcements to make that are for the good of the community. We're going to share some details with you about some upcoming programs and some good information to share. With that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I see we have a full house today, and we have a lot to discuss. Before we get into some of the exciting details we have for you, unfortunately, we have to bring or begin today's press briefing on a sadder note. I'd like to offer prayers and support to the Heidelberg community and to the family of Mayor David Taylor, who unfortunately passed away on Saturday. Mayor Taylor was only 41 years old, same age that I am, and he's survived by a wife and 2 children. So I ask that the city of Jackson, that everyone, that they collectively pray for not only the Heidelberg community, but the family of Mayor Taylor. Turning the page on a much more upbeat and exciting note, we're excited, and I'd like to invite Councilman Brian Griselle forward with me. We're excited to support the Sonic Boom of the South as they are headed to the Rose Bowl in 2025, which is in Pasadena, California. This week, the Jackson State family is launching a very special fundraiser in support of the band and their travel to give the Boom their roses. And so I asked Councilman Griselle, who is a Jackson State alum. Now I took 3 classes. I took 3 classes in the summer. You're a friend of JSU. I'm a friend of JSU? Okay, I got you. So we're happy to wish them well, and we know that the Jackson community, the JSU alumni abroad are going to support our Sonic Boom. Whether you went to Jackson State or not, it feels like our professional team, right? It feels like our institution. And so we're excited, aren't we, Melissa? We're excited for the Sonic Boom. Ready to go? All right. So I'd like to step aside and also give them an opportunity to speak about this opportunity. So let me give it to Councilman Griselle first. And what he's holding up is both a proclamation and a resolution from the City Council and a proclamation from myself.
Actually, I'm going to speak a little bit tomorrow. So
Okay.
if they just, Dr.
Okay. All right.
Roberts,
I'll step out of the side.
Hi. Well, I'm Lisa Beckley Roberts, affectionately known on campus as Dr. B. Rob, and I have the distinct honor and pleasure of serving as the chair of the Department of Music. And I just want to first thank you all for all that you do for our amazing city, for this community. And I want you to feel like Jackson State and certainly the Sonic Boom is our band. It is the summa cum laude of bands, and we're so excited. It's such a distinct honor to be invited to perform for the Parade of Roses, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to represent JSU, the city of Jackson, the state of Mississippi, the South, and HBCU culture all over the country. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for this wonderful honor, and I am looking forward to all of you joining us as we try to give the Boom their roses. It is a massive undertaking. It will take this entire village to do it. And so thank you for this acknowledgement, for this resolution and proclamation, and love the Boom.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Roderick Little, and I serve as Director of Bands at Jackson State University. And moments like these are just transcending for me. And the reason why I say that is because we work with our students on a day in and day out basis. And a lot of times they're not recognized for their hard work. And so we're here as ambassadors for our students, letting them know that we support them in everything that they do. And I would just like to thank everybody that has a hand or has had a hand on this proclamation and resolution. We're recognizing our students and getting them to Pasadena, California. I would would like to thank our president, President Marcus Thompson, who has been a stellar supporter of the Sonic Boom of the South, and also Jackson State University, and everybody that has supported our students over this time as we represent, again, to Dr. Becky Roberts' point, not just Jackson State University, but all HBCU. I see we have some purple in the building today. So we're representing not just Jackson State, but all HBCUs, because we know what we have to offer to not only music education, but also to our state and our nation as well. So again, thank you guys for this public recognition, and we are definitely encouraging all of our alumni, fans, and friends to give on the 19th as we give our students their roses. Let's make sure that we recognize them for all the hard work that they're doing and give them to Pasadena, California to represent on January 1st of 2025. They can go to www.jsums.edu/roses, and they can give in that way. And we're going to have a litany of videos and a lot of other things during that day, spearheaded by our amazing university communications team. So just follow our social medias on the 19th, and you will definitely, figure out how to give to this endeavor. So again, thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you guys on New Year's Day 2025. Love the boom.
Maybe let's step in that area away with the microphone. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Now I failed to mention that one of those 3 classes that I took was music appreciation, right? 4.0, but let me say this. Statistics, psychology, and music appreciation, and I was surprised that music appreciation was the most difficult of those 3 classes, right? So we thank you. I saw that Councilman Banks stepped in. I didn't know he's in his football coach's attire, so that's the only reason I didn't know if he wanted to be in the picture. But he's a JSU Sonic Boom alum, so I know that he's supporting. So we're happy to know that the Sonic Boom will be the greatest ambassadors, not only for Jackson, but the state of Mississippi. So we're excited about that, right? All right, so another exciting thing to announce is that we had a very successful ice cream safari this past weekend at the Jackson Zoo. And we had a large crowd there in spite of the heat. It was over 100 degrees, but we not only had a lot of young people to attend, but we had several organizations and celebrity scoopers that came. I am a bit curious of the results of WJTV and I believe the Sheriff's Department. 99 Jams, yeah, they put them together and that they won. I think that some of those tokens had Chuck E. Cheese emblems on them. But nonetheless, they are the victors. No, we're excited that they were out there and so many people came and enjoyed. And so I'd like to invite Heather to come forward with ZAP. And also this coming weekend, the zoo will be having legislature or legislative day, where they will be welcoming state legislators to the zoo so that they can see the needs of the Jackson Zoo, the need for investment, the needs around certain exhibits, and just creating an atmosphere that not only our residents can enjoy, but people near and far can enjoy. And so I'd like to invite Heather, who's a consummate supporter of the Jackson Zoo. She is consistent in her support, and so we're grateful for all that she does. If you want to speak to it. All right.
So this Saturday from 10 to 2 is Legislator Day at the Jackson Zoo. Sorry. We've invited local state legislators, our city council members, our county supervisors, and other stakeholders to come out to the zoo and, just like the mayor said, see what's going on. A lot of us, we talk about the zoo all the time, but we're not, how long has it been since we've actually been there, other than us that were sweating last Saturday at Ice Cream Safari. But we wanted them to come out, see what's going on at the zoo, see what we have to offer, see what needs working on, and hopefully they'll catch our vision that our zoo can still be a vibrant, thriving organization and attraction in our city. So this Saturday from 10 to 2, they've all been invited, but we want you all to come out too. When's the last time you've come out to the zoo? Come on out, see what's going on, meet your legislators, they'll be there. Talk to them, tell them how you support the zoo, what your thoughts are on that too. So we'll be out there Saturday. Hope y'all can join us. Thanks.
Thank you, Heather. And I would just say that I think it's a very wise move in order to invite the legislators there to see firsthand. There's been a lot of discussion about moving our zoo over the last several years. First and foremost, I think that there needs to be some context provided to people. Our zoo is over 200 acres, and the area that has been suggested is about 50 acres. So I don't know how you move a 200-acre zoo into a 50-acre area of land. The rhino alone might need 50 acres just to run about. And so what we do know is that our zoo is in need of investment, that not only for the benefit of the animals that we've been entrusted with, but for the benefit of young people across the state that should be able to enjoy a beautiful atmosphere and an educational atmosphere at the zoo. And so hopefully that is a fruitful meeting, and I applaud y'all for the idea. So turning the page again, I want to speak and I want to invite Jai Keaton. Is Jai in the house? Okay, is he outside? Okay, so we're going to invite Jai to come in just a moment, but also I'd like to invite Tim Bennett to come forward as we talk about a sister city agreement. And this is a sister city agreement between the city of Jackson and Rio Negro, Colombia. And this was sparked based on the investment that MLB is making in areas like Colombia towards the advancement of the sport of baseball. And we're going to have the benefit of having athletes that will be training right here in Jackson, Mississippi. And through the creativity of people like Mr. Bennett, we have been able to use that as a springboard to other economic opportunities for not only the city of Jackson, but the state of Mississippi. It's a very interesting sister city agreement. It's not just a ceremonial agreement. We want more meaningful agreements, and not that we don't appreciate the relationship and the ceremonial nature of some of our previous ones, but this one actually has the ability to have economic benefits not only for the city of Jackson, but for Rio Negro as well. So if you can come forward and just talk more about this agreement. All right, appreciate you. All right.
Thank you for giving me the time. In my mind, this is a very historic announcement in that it's not only an economic, but also a social and cultural experience. The governor in Colombia, along with the mayor in Rio Negro, have sent their video to show their support for this agreement to the mayor. It's in Spanish, so we reserve that for another time. If anybody who watches baseball knows that over the last 30 years, there's been a steady decline of African-American participation, not only on the field, but umpires in the front office. Any position in baseball you name, there's been a decline in African-American participation. And so what we noticed years ago, that as you saw the decline in African-American participation, there was an increase in Latin American participation. And so if you look anywhere across the globe where you see Latin Americans, you'll see Major League Baseball. So I decided if you can't beat them, join them. After the Negro Leagues were kind of pushed away from Major League Baseball, you'll notice the last month or two, the Negro League statistics have been now included back into the Major League Baseball numbers. An interesting fact is that Mississippi only has one Major League Baseball Hall of Famer and his name happens to be Cool Papa Bell of the Negro League, born just outside of Starksville. So we're going to try to do everything we can to promote baseball, not only on the field, but in the front office. We have right now a fellowship program that brings college students from Jackson State, Mississippi State, USM. We're training these young men and women to become managers, to work in the front office, to do tickets, because the concentration so often is given to just the players on the field, which are mostly male. And so sometimes we forget that there's other cultures, there's women, there's Black, white, Latin, and Asian that are looking for jobs. And so we want to make sure there's an equal offer to everybody in Jackson. And so now this focus will be directly from Medellin and Rio Negro, about 2.5 million people over there. I spend about 3 months a year over there developing players with Major League Baseball. Now we'll be able to have that focus right here in Jackson. If you watch the All-Star game over the next couple of days, you'll see something called the Swingman Classic, where it's the top 50 HBCU players in the country that participate at the All-Star game. Well, next year, because of the Legacy League, working with international countries and Mayor Lumumba, we'll be able to start bringing international players here to Jackson, Mississippi, to not only train, but to play over at Smith-Wills Stadium. We'll play a 30-game schedule every year, and that'll be in direct cooperation with Major League Baseball and several Major League teams. We may be losing the Mississippi Braves after this season, but we will continue to have Braves RBI. We will continue to have Braves Country. We've sent tournament kids over to Atlanta in the last month to participate. So we will continue to have the Braves representation here in Mississippi, and now have Major League Baseball and a whole other country, Colombia, South America, working directly hand in hand with us in developing players. The last thing I'll say is that this is a big opportunity for tourism and for commerce. Colombia is the number 3 producer of coffee in the world. It's the number producer of flowers in the world. And so because we have a port down on Gulfport, this is a twofold opportunity for us to have the sister city agreement with Colombia for baseball players and for culture, and for the Port of Gulfport to be able to maybe get some more business coming out of Colombia. Right now, all of the containers are coming from a new port, Port Antioquia, going to Miami. We're going to see if we can't divert some of those. So, Mayor, we're going to put a little bit more on your plate to work with Gulfport and see if we can't get containers from Colombia so we can continue to bring more attention and money to Jackson. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for signing up with me.
Thank you. So, hold on. So, you know, and I'm glad that Tim was able to touch on that. So this is not only an athletic exchange in this Sister City agreement, where we'll see some of the premier talent across the globe, but as he stated, this also has other economic benefits from the coffee being transport and plants that I believe that Home Depot, stores like Home Depot's use and sell on a frequent basis. Many of those plants originate from Colombia, and so this is a part of that agreement, and the city of Jackson will be able to play a role through this sister city relationship. I also wanted Mr. Bennett to stand here for a moment as we talk about the direction of Smith-Wills Stadium. There has been a lot of discussion about the potential takeover of Smith-Wills Stadium. To be clear, the city of Jackson owns Smith-Wills Stadium. We have a management agreement that Mr. Bennett is in control of. And so it has not been taken from the city of Jackson, and there's quite a distance that we would have to go before anything like that took place. There's also been discussion about the profitability or the benefit of that contract to the city of Jackson. First, let's compare apples to apples. Prior to the agreement that Mr. Bennett is now under, the city of Jackson, under its prior management group, that management group was under no obligation to share any revenue or make any payments to the city of Jackson. So we still, things like the turf, the city of Jackson took out the cost and expenditures on that, and we were receiving none of the revenue while there were consistent games taking place there. And we received absolutely nothing. So if we received $1, it would be 100% more, right, than what we were receiving prior to. Mr. Bennett has run into some challenges that we've all run into, things like COVID, right, since his agreement was set in place. But nonetheless, he's invested, I think, approximately $3 million of his own into Smith-Will Stadium. So the upgrades to the facility we own alone proves that this is a beneficial agreement for the city of Jackson. And we're going to support his growth because his growth equals our growth as a city. And we have to understand why there's so much discussion about this property in the first place. Smith-Will Stadium has one of the highest, or that area has one of the highest traffic counts in the state of Mississippi. Not only because of its proximity to 55, but we all know that Lakeland Drive is a heavily trafficked area. And so we're going to make certain that this works to our benefit as a city, and that's why we're protecting this property that has been entrusted for the city of Jackson, and make sure that it continues to grow. Lastly, giving him his flowers in terms of what he's been able to produce. This isn't just a guy with a wild, outlandish dream of reinvigorating Smith-Will Stadium. He comes with a tested, tried and true history. He was not only instrumental in the creation and the development of the baseball stadium, the Brave Stadium in Pearl. He's also been a part of deals that baseball stadiums in the Gulf Coast and outside of the state of Mississippi. So he's been able to demonstrate his acumen for this work on a number of levels. He is a trusted partner of the Major League Baseball, so much so that he's an ambassador even on the worldwide stage. And so I thank you for your work and look forward to the continued partnership with the City of Jackson. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. You can clap. All right, so next, this is a program that I alluded to in our last press conference, and I shared that we would have representation most likely today to give you more information, and that is our Cut Above program. Last week, I let you know that we are narrowing in, or we're coming to the point where we're ready to enter into some contractual agreements to help with some of the cutting responsibilities, right-of-ways in the city of Jackson. But we're also trying to take advantage of residents who have shared that they want to be supportive of making sure that we have an aesthetically pleasing city. And so to talk about that program, I'd like to ask Satara Patrick to come forward and speak about it.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Well, good afternoon. I am Satara Patrick, the environmental program coordinator for the City of Jackson Solid Waste Division. We are excited to announce our new program, the Cut Above, which is our community upkeep team. So as a member of the Cut Community Upkeep Team, we are asking that you join us as we work to tackle unsightly parts of our city. We invite you to participate by using your own lawn care equipment to help clean and beautify our neighborhoods. Whether it's mowing, trimming, raking, or picking up litter, your contribution will make a significant difference. So if you would like to sign up or, participate as a member of this team, we're asking that you sign up by filling out the form located at keepjacksonbeautiful.com, and it will pop up for you. It will be called the Cut Team. Also, you can call the Solid Waste Division at 601-960-1193. So we can organize teams and assign areas for cleanup. Also, I want to take this time out aside of the Cut Team. This whole entire segment thus far has been about giving people their flowers. And so I want to take this time to give Miss Lakeisha Weathers Ward her flowers. She is not only the best boss lady ever, but she has really been hands and feet on the ground doing a lot of work, and she doesn't get a lot of recognition as she deserves. So I want to take this time out to give her her flowers. Come on up here. And she also just passed her test and got her certification from MOLO, which stands for Manager of Landfill Operations. So we want to give you your flowers.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. That don't come with a raise, though. No, thank you, I appreciate it. Mayor Lumumba is very, he's always giving me my flowers, I appreciate that. He appreciates the hard work of the Solid Waste Division. And as I always say, we are a small team, but we are a force. We are here, we are available to the public. We're here to work with you all, and we appreciate those individuals that have reached out to us to support our efforts. We appreciate those that are willing to take the time out and put the work back into their communities. Oftentimes, we get the complaints and we get the frustrations. It's rare when we get those people that call and say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, and I want to come out and help you. So we want to thank those individuals. I thank Satara for coming up with this program and coming up with the way that we can coordinate our efforts and work together. Because working together, we can get more done than working separately. So I thank Satara for the accolades. I appreciate it. Thank you all, and thank those volunteers. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so yeah, we together, being single flowers, we all create a bouquet, but if we all come together as a community, we can definitely be that garden of pretty, beautiful flowers. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Satara. Satara, how do I make sure? Satara. I heard you pronounce it differently, and I thought Keisha maybe changed it on me, but thank you, Ms. Patrick, and thank you, Ms. Weathers. Thank you both for the hard work that you accomplished. And I want to be clear, this comes on the heels of residents who have reached out and asked how they can support. The city is not trying to punt the responsibility. We're taking very seriously how we address the many miles of right-of-way and graveyards that we have to cut. And so we're trying to make certain that we right-size what we achieve in-house and what we do on a contractual basis. And so we're going to go with the plan that is the most effective and also the most cost-efficient. And so this is budget season, and so I will tease that this will probably be a big part of the conversation of where we go. And so I thank them for their hard work, and congratulations, Ms. Weathers, on your passage of your exam. Okay, thank you. Next, we're happy to announce that we've received a Federal Transit Authority award. Several months ago, we unveiled our new fleet of JTran buses. We've updated the routes, the app, and made several improvements. And now we're excited to announce that the Federal Transit Authority has awarded the City of Jackson $13.7 million to our fleet. And I'd like to ask if Ms. Christine Welch will come forward to talk about this exciting opportunity and this investment in our public transit system. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Christine Welch, Transit Services. This undertaking by the Biden-Harris administration over the last 3 years is for a low-no emission by the year 2050. The City of Jackson in April submitted a grant application for $20 million. We were excited to get our final award earlier last week for 13.7. It's one of the largest awards the City of Jackson has ever received for the advancement of the fleet and the system in the City of Jackson. So we're very proud of that. We're very proud of our system. My manager, Ms. Marilyn Geis, in her efforts in writing grants for our division has been very successful over the last 5 years. So we are very excited about this. And also we want to thank Congressman Thompson, the Region 5 in Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. Yvette Taylor, for their support in training us over the last 5 years to ensure that we can advance transit in the City of Jackson. This grant, this award is for the replacement and modernization of the existing fleet of hybrid buses, which we currently have 4. The goal is to advance with the additional 35 and 40-foot hybrid electric, diesel electric buses. propane-powered buses that's less than 30 feet vehicles, and also to get electric vans with charging stations. And these vehicles will be equipped with air purification system, touchless fare systems. So we're very excited to take that next step to advancing the transit system for the city of Jackson and reducing our run times and our reliability for the citizens here in Jackson.
I'd want to join Ms. Welch in the expression of gratitude to Congressman Thompson. He was instrumental in ensuring that we would get these funds, and so we're grateful. And then also I want to point to one last thing before we switch to the next subject. Sometimes we have short memories, and I want to give credit to our mass transit, our public transit system. When this administration arrived, we had end-of-life buses from Sarasota, Florida, that were breaking down daily. We could not meet timely arrivals and departures of our buses for those that take advantage of JTRAN. Often our disabled community, even when the bus arrived, they were often turned away because the equipment was faulty on those buses, and the buses could not lower sufficiently so that they would be able to load onto the buses. Not only have we been able to see new hybrid buses that we already have a part of our fleet, now with the addition of $13.7 million to go towards additional buses, but we no longer have to see the bus shelters that were falling apart, that no one wanted to even sit or go near the bus shelter to take advantage of JTRAN. We no longer have to worry about whether the bus is going to meet the timeline that is on the, by the way, new wayfinding system that has been placed across the city so that you know when the buses are supposed to arrive and what route you're on. We now have an app, like I said, that will tell those who want to ride JTRAN when the bus is scheduled to arrive. And so these are significant changes. And as we endeavor to grow as a city, there is no city that is capable of reaching that aspiration without being a multimodal mobility city, without having the ability to fix roads so that people who drive their personal vehicles can do so without them breaking down. And we've done significant things, even though we have a lot of work to do in that area. We've done significant things to benefit that, but also the ability to use mass transit and other things. We have bike lanes for the first time in certain parts of the city of Jackson. And so we're going to continue to push this. We're going to continue to be smart in how we think about transportation in our city, because the closest variable to generational poverty, while education is important, actually the closest statistical variable is that of commute time, people's ability to get to and from the places that they need to go. And so I applaud JTRAN, I applaud your leadership, and we look forward to our continued growth. This next piece, I'm going to invite Melissa forward to share some information about the state of the city.
So the State of the City is October the 10th of this year, and every year we try to reach out to local vendors and local restaurants to make them feel a part of the event. But what we do is that we do it by small committees, just a few of us who reach out. So this year we are actually using this as a call to any restaurants or vendors who would like to be a part of the State of the City event, which will take place October the 10th. If you're a restaurant and you want to set up a booth and offer a small taste of what you do, if you're a vendor and you have a product that you would love to share with local residents, or if you have a service that you would like to provide, this is an opportunity to do it. The State of the City is a hugely diverse crowd. You have residents, you have lawmakers, you have people from all walks of life there. It's certainly an amazing chance to have eyes on your restaurant or on your business. So if you're interested, and we'll be doing this call out over the next several weeks, send us an email. You can email us at media, so it's media, @ jacksonms.gov, and we'll reach out to you. If you have a favorite restaurant that you love and you think that they would really benefit from having the residents of Jackson all in one place testing their food out, share that information with them so that we can reach out to them, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. Again, it's media, MEDIA, at jacksonms.gov, and we're looking for restaurants really to just come and set up. We did it a couple of years ago on Ferris Street, and we had lots of different restaurants who just offered just a bite, a taste of their restaurants, and many of them have seen a lot of success since then. And again, any businesses or business owners who offer a particular service and you just want to get your business out there, this is an opportunity to do so, and we absolutely welcome it.
State of the City is an opportunity to give a picture of where our city is in our journey towards moving forward and having the ability to showcase our culinary excellence across the city contributes to that. So I pray that we have a large response to that. Last press conference, we shared with you a list of traffic lights that are out and where they are in the process of being repaired. I believe that we have another list today to give you an update on that process and let you know how we're moving forward. We're going to post that on our city's social media page. We'll try to post that on the website as well. We want to keep you updated as we march through this process of this aged infrastructure and how we're addressing it. We have fewer on the list today than we had last week. And we're going to keep working until the list is down to zero. And then we'll talk about our progressive or our proactive methodology of trying to address for infrastructure that is aging rapidly. Not only have we had, unfortunately, a number of accidents, people running into, contacting either the lines or the cabinets of our traffic lights. We also have a good number of our traffic lights that were all purchased around the same time, and now they have all aged at the same time and are reaching the end of life. And so that's why we have to have that proactive strategy. With that, that's what we have prepared for you today. We covered a lot of ground, and we're prepared to take the questions that you have today. Yes, sir, Charlie. Mm-hmm.
When will the athletes be coming to Jackson, and when will the 30-game season?
I'm going to invite Mr. Bennett up here to give you those details.
I'm guessing they'll be training at Smith-Wills Stadium?
Yes.
The season will start in May. The end of May will start on Memorial Day. The reasoning behind that is the day after the SEC and the SWAC tournaments are concluded. Major League Baseball is doing, as I mentioned, the top 50 HBCU players that will participate in the All-Star game. Next year, it's going to be in Atlanta, ironically enough. And so we'll finish our season July the 4th. So we start on a holiday and we end on a holiday July the 4th. Immediately following July 4th, we'll start our playoffs and championships. We want to be completed by the 12th so we can put all the 50 players that have been selected by Major League Baseball on a plane to go over to Atlanta to participate in the All-Star game. This is something we'll do every year. Major League Baseball now does it every year. Again, trying to build the participation of African Americans in the game.
And then I also have another question about the stadium. Councilman Foote brought up in the last meeting that your management company has only paid $32,000 to the city since leasing the facility in 2019, but under the contract, it owes $500,000 since 2020. Do you have a response to the councilman's concerns, and will the city be trying to recoup that money?
Well, there's been an amendment to the existing contract. The reason for the amendment was we did have a storm that came through that deemed the stadium unusable for about 6 months because the outfield wall was blown down, so we had to wait on the insurance to come in and take care of that. We did give up our facilities for the pandemic where shots were given, tests were given. We distributed millions of bottles of water from that site. We've worked with FEMA and given up premises for that as well. We made not one but two payments as recently as maybe a week or so ago. That goes towards the amended contract, amending the former agreement that was between the two entities. And so we have faced some obstacles and some hurdles. Additionally, I'd like to say that we take care of all of the premises around the stadium now. So the field out front, Michael D. Johnson, where the Dizzy Dean Museum used to be, and around back where there's an Atmos station where they have all their gas utilities. We take care of all of that as well, which is additional work to what was promised in the original agreement. We're doing this somewhat to what the young lady was talking about earlier, a cut above. When you drive by Smithwell Stadium now, it doesn't look like it used to look. I've had people complain about the colors, and I tell people, well, the colors are Jackson State, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, USM, Alcorn, and Valley. So if it's a lot of different colors, it's because I'm trying to represent the entire state and their 6 Division I schools. Every one of those schools have played at that stadium, and I can personally tell you the reason the Mississippi Braves chose Mississippi was because of the success that was had at Smithwell Stadium the 20-plus years when Cotton Maloney had it prior to him selling it to Nolan Ryan. When Nolan bought the team, it was to build a new stadium, and so that was the vision here. So all of that is a very long answer to say that we are continuing to make investments even on a daily basis at Smithwell Stadium. I invite anyone here to come by and see the work that we've done, but also to support the work that we're going to do. I don't think that the division in the community is going to help the kids. I think that what's going to help the kids is us coming together as adults and working together to show that we're trying to make a better future for all of the kids, and that's what Major League Baseball, Hank Aaron, Larry Aaron, Jackie Robinson's wife, so many people that are coming together now. Andrew Jones was here just a few weeks ago. Larry Aaron was here just a few weeks ago. These are nationally recognized names that are wanting to come and make an investment in Mississippi. So I think we should be laying the road out for that.
Let me just add, as I stated, the prior management agreement and the prior management group did not have an obligation, nor did they provide any money to the city of Jackson. And so I think that Councilman Foote, in his responsibility as a council member and looking at the city's coffers, it is an appropriate question to ask that. But, you know, being one of the longer tenured council members, you know, we kind of wish that before we got into this agreement that those discussions had taken place. Maybe some of the revenue that the city needs, we would have been closer to benefiting from that. And so his question has to also consider not only the investments that he's made into the facility itself, the literal dollars that have been put into not only the outfield wall, but working on the dugouts, working on various parts of the stadium, all go to benefit this property that the city of Jackson owns. Lastly, I will preview this. I know that there's a conversation afoot, no pun intended, right? That is to talk about the fact that he has an agreement with the VA for parking. Well, it's his responsibility as in a management group to look for, all sources of revenue that he could bring in. Now, what I believe his question alludes to is the fact that he sees, based on the agreement, that he is making profit on that. Well, what his thoughts or his question may not contemplate is that part of that agreement was that he had to get the buses for the transit of people to and from as surplus parking space for the VA. And so while there is an agreement to pay him revenue or to pay the management group revenue for parking for the VA, like anything, you don't start making profit from day one, right? When you build a McDonald's, when you invest in the employees, the first burger that is purchased isn't a plus. You're still in the red, right? You're still in the negative. And so those things have to be considered. Once again, he has demonstrated his acumen here. Not only in Jackson, not only, across the greater Jackson area, across the state of Mississippi, but across the United States, he's demonstrated his ability. And so we believe that he is deserving of a fair shot to make certain that we see Smithwell Stadium, the Hank Aaron Baseball Academy, reach its full potential. All right. Yes, sir.
Mayor, I wanted to ask you about out-of-state awards.
Mhm.
but even just outside of the water side, just in terms of, general maintenance, stuff like that, how much of a concern is there about out-of-state landlords that aren't keeping tabs on their properties here?
Well, that has been a concern for the city of Jackson for some time. That was a part of the process of creating the rental registry, not only making sure that those that are in the business of renting spaces or residences, that they have a certain level of responsibility to their tenants, but they have a responsibility to the city of Jackson. Now, one of the things that I believe was struck down or amended in our rental registry program was requiring that they had an agent that lived in the city of Jackson. The reason that we wanted an agent that lived in the city of Jackson was precisely, what your question is addressing, that we need somebody who is present and accountable for these challenges. It is my understanding now, that we aren't presently in control or over the management of the water system or the billing of the water system. But it is my understanding that tenants were paying a portion of their rent was going towards the payment of their water bills or the water bill for the building or the structure. And so I don't know where things got out of sorts. I won't make any accusations on anyone, but we need to have someone, whether they're present or not, whether they live here or not, that's accountable not only to the tenants but to the city of Jackson.
When you say that requirement was struck down, is that
This was, I would have to refer that question to the city attorney's office to give a more detailed response to that, because I just know that it was struck down. But Drew Martin would be better positioned to give more information on that. Yeah.
Hey, Mayor, are there any updates on the plan to hire engineering firms to help supplement the public works department?
Had a conversation with our city attorney today. He stated he was ill last week. He stated that the engineering firm representation, he tried to see if they could get together last week. They were unable to get together last week, and so he anticipates that they will get together this week. As soon as they can meet, we understand they just want to agree on the scope of work to be accomplished, and as soon as that meeting can take place, I'm ready to put it on the agenda before the council. Hello, council women, how are y'all doing? We have cameo appearances, but as soon as that agreement can be consummated or we have a full scope of work, then it will be presented to the council, and so that's what we're waiting on. Yes, sir.
What was your reaction to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump and the stuff that's going on with Benny Thompson's staffer who posted on Facebook and the calls from Mississippi Republicans that he should resign?
Yeah. Well, I will say that first and foremost that we recognize that event as a tragic occurrence. Not only because there was an attempt on his life, but there was actual loss of life that took place that day. So we have to recognize that. And any time there's a loss of life, that is a tragedy. And so that's my views with respect to that. I will share that any conversation about Congressman Thompson and a staffer is above my pay grade, but I would say that I don't believe that Congressman Thompson wished harm on anyone. That would be inconsistent of the person that I know him to be. And so that is just my view on that. But all of that is above my pay grade. I'm trying to figure out how we make Smith-Will Stadium profitable, how we fix some traffic lights, how we pave some roads, how we make certain that we have a reliable and sustainable water system. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all.